Hi, sweets. I want to talk with you about feeling overwhelmed and maybe how not to, just on the off chance that's come up for you lately. I don't know about you, but for me, it feels lately like the days are maybe like 8 million hours long. Like maybe every day actually lasts an entire eternity, possibly. And yet at the same time, we get to the end of the day and look back and go, what actually happened today? And it feels like the answer is nothing. What did I do? Okay, actually nothing. Nothing happened in those 8 million hours between breakfast and bedtime. Okay, good to know. When that can happen over and over and over again, right? When you pile up these days of like, the day was really long and nothing happened in that day, we can start to feel really, really weird about ourselves, about our day. I think that story can pop back up about like, hey, is it just me? Maybe is it just me? Is it me that just can't get it together? And like, that's why the days keep being kind of weird. It's not you, I promise. But I think it is a chance to remember that we are not in control. I think that lesson just keeps being presented to us in this season, that we're not in control of the things we thought we were, right? And we get to see it over and over and over again every single day. We can't control what's on the shelves at the grocery store. We can't control whether there is a grocery delivery time slot available this week or not. I cannot control whether my kids wake up all full of energy and needing to get outside and run around and do all the things, or whether they wake up and they're like, I'm so bored, houses are terrible, which might be their truth for today. I can't control which one of those days we're going to have. And at the end of the day, if I'm looking back and going, why didn't I get it together? I think that is a signal to me, at least, that I was trying to control stuff that wasn't mine to control, that I thought I ought to have been able to control stuff that wasn't mine to control. Instead, I need to remember that actually within the parameters that I'm living in, I'm in charge of a whole bunch of things. Like, for one, I am in charge of deciding how I want to feel and then making choices that'll help me to feel that way more often and overwhelmed less. Right? So if I want to feel more present and more grounded and more connected, I need to make choices and bring things into my day that are going to help me to feel that way more often. Right? And I think that is actually really a super helpful choice, is to define our day for ourselves. I know I used to have this method of having a day where I would just make a really thorough, great to-do list of all the things I thought I should be doing in a day, right? All the things that would be great things to do, this one and this one and this one and this one, and I would make the long, long list. And at the end of the day, then I would have this really terrific, detailed, long list of all the things I hadn't done, right? Because I never would get to all those things. And as I sat in that, like, okay, wait, there's never enough time for all the things on my list. This never works. I knew I had to figure out a different way of doing it. And I actually wrote about this in permission granted. I want to read you a teeny little bit about defining our days. Because what I heard when I started listening to myself was there would never be enough time. Why couldn't I make it all work? Why couldn't I finish all the things? Well, maybe because I'm human and I have limitations, and I am that way for a damn good reason. I couldn't change the being human part of myself, and I couldn't change the having human limitations part either. But something had to change. There was never enough time to do all the things, and the number of things to do would not really change. Everyone needed to eat every day and also have clean socks with alarming regularity. Projects needed to be tended to, or else they weren't projects, they were just ideas that would float away. And everyone needed love and attention, even me, so those things couldn't go. And the amount of time in a day was unlikely to increase a whole lot according to physics. Eventually, it occurred to me that there was only one thing I could change. I could change how I would define enough. And I think that's what we need to do right now, right? Is define what's going to be enough for us. So what I like to do is every morning think of the 3 things that if I focus on just those 3 things, that's going to be enough for today. And you might be thinking, ridiculous internet lady, there's not time for 3 things, which you could be right. One thing is awesome. You could just think about one thing. For me, I try to think of, okay, what are the 3 things I want to focus on for today? And there are some things that never get to go on that list. Okay, routine things like brush my teeth, make my cup of tea in the morning, those things are gonna happen whether they're on the list or not, so they do not need to take up space in my brain with being on that list. And then urgent things like, the kids are gonna need snacks. Well, yes, they are, and I'm gonna get them whether they're on the list or not, so that doesn't have to go on there. The routine things, the urgent things, those don't get to be on my top 3. Unless I'm having a really hard time or a really difficult day or a week, and I want to say, you know what? Tomorrow, the 3 things that matter are I get up, I take care of all my usual routine things, I brush my teeth and take a shower, and I meet my kids in their urgent needs, and that's enough for tomorrow, just those 3 things. In that case, they get to be on the list, but otherwise, my list is for just the 3 things I'll feel really great about having focused on at the end of the day. That's what's on the enough list. It's not the things I think I should be doing. It's not everything I could possibly do. It's not like learn to bake sourdough. It's the things I actually care about right now in my actual life, the things that are most important to me to getting done. Those are my enough list. And if I focus on those things, that was enough for today. Okay, so that's how we define our day. And the other thing I want us to do is think about what's the one step we can take right now toward what will feel better and like less overwhelmed. Okay, because I think some of us have the tendency to look at the day and go, you know what, nothing happened today. Like it feels like I did nothing. You did plenty of things, but really it feels like this whole long day happened and I don't really have anything to show for it at the end of the day. So, okay, you know what? That was today. So tomorrow, what I'm gonna do is tomorrow I will write a novel and bake a cake and run a marathon up and down my street with a mask on. That's gonna be great for tomorrow. And it kind of makes sense because nothing happened today, so everything can happen tomorrow and it'll average out. Except no. No. So if we define our enough for tomorrow as all the things have to happen, right? We're gonna do all the big things tomorrow and that'll be enough. Well, then we're just setting ourselves up for a not enough kind of day, right? Where we feel like I didn't do enough, I didn't get to enough. How come it didn't all happen? Well, because we set our goal at a ridiculous place. So instead of that, even if it feels like nothing happened today, I want you to think about just the one thing. You could do your 3 things, but it could just be the one, right? Just the one thing that would be it would be great for this to happen tomorrow. And then what's the one thing you could do today to set yourself up for that success tomorrow? Okay, so for example, last week, I pinched a nerve in my neck and shoulder and it felt horrible. At first, I couldn't even move at all, right? There was nowhere I could sit or stand or lay down that felt comfortable. Everything hurt. And then after a couple days, I could move a little bit, but I couldn't sleep. And it was horrible. And all my usual things fell off my plate, right? All my routine things didn't happen. Nothing happened how I thought it was gonna happen. And that was last week. This week, I'm starting to feel better. I can move my head around and it's amazing and not even painful. So this week I'm trying to bring back in the things that I know really help me and that feel really great, but that fell off, that were even routine things, but they just stopped happening. How do I bring those back? So tomorrow, if I want to get back on my yoga mat, for example, which I do because I know it'll feel really good, the thing I did today was I opened up the yoga video on my phone that I want to follow along with tomorrow. And then I'm ready to go. And the next thing I'm gonna try to do before bedtime tonight is make a plan for exactly when in my day is that gonna happen. So that tomorrow, if that's one of my big 3 things, I'm already set up for success to make that happen instead of having to feel like I had to go from doing nothing to doing everything. I went from not doing the thing to getting ready to do the thing, making a plan for doing the thing, and then I'm more likely to be able to actually do the thing, okay? So all of that helps to move us away from overwhelm when we remember that we're not in control, but we are in charge, when we choose how we're gonna define our day, and when we make steps toward our goals instead of trying to go from nothing to everything all in one leap. I think that all helps so much in taking away some of that overwhelming feeling of the day was forever and yet nothing happened, and bringing us back into what really, really is enough. And we'll talk more soon.